Peace, y'all. It's your boy Vinny Venom, man. The Commission Cypher, episode number 4. We here live and direct at the Hydro Bar. Live and direct, man. Shout out to the Hydro Bar, Tim, Junior, Senior, the whole staff, man. We appreciate them letting us come up here and cause havoc and do what we do. So, a lot of shit to get into, man. A lot of things going on. Happy New Year to everybody. Hope everybody's staying, healthy and keeping up with their New Year's resolutions. Pardon me, most of y'all motherfuckers already failed your New Year's resolution, but that's all right. You know what I mean? But live in the flesh, man. First and foremost, I want to salute everybody that has been subscribing, liking, and interacting with the comments. All the haters that are still on my fucking dome piece about the Pusha T comments. Again, I stand by them. So if you want to debate, you want to fucking talk, you want to argue it out, my forum is your forum. Let's fucking have a conversation. But, I appreciate everybody. All the new subscribers. Make sure if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button. We got content every week. So, but welcome to everybody that hasn't been here before. That's brand new. We got a lot of topics to discuss. I got producer T-Rav in the spot. How you feeling, G?
I'm feeling good.
Dope.
Chilling.
I got my guy here, Grizz Grimes, in the spot. What up, G?
What's up, man?
How you, man?
Chilling, bro.
Dope.
Same old
Dope.
shit.
So we episode number 4. We had in between these kind of big episodes, we don't have a guest. We had Cali Soul, we had DZ. If y'all did not peep them shows, make sure you go run them back on demand. Crazy freestyles, great dialogue, a lot of good conversations. So again, appreciate everybody that's tapped in, man. So episode 4, y'all. So how y'all feeling this week? I know there's a lot of shit going on, so I know we're gonna talk about a few things, but first and foremost, how's your New Year been treating you, man?
It's
how's
good.
Everything good?
It's good.
What was your New Year's resolution?
I didn't have a New Year's resolution.
Yeah,
I don't do that shit.
Yeah, me either.
I don't do it. I'm letting myself down too many times, bro.
I feel that, bro. No, I feel that. I don't have one either. I just
No, but I don't have a. I don't. It's just another day to me, bro. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just try and do
be better every day.
Do my shit every day. Yeah, absolutely, bro.
do some T-Rap, man.
That's right.
You have a New Year's resolution?
Get money.
Yeah.
And we doing it.
That's right.
All right, dope. No, that's great. That's great. More money, more problems,
More
man.
problems.
So big set.
Damn straight.
Yeah, man, New Year's been good so far, man. It's been cold over here. You know where we at, man. It's been crazy. The weather's been
It's supposed to be colder next
interesting,
week.
man. I'm for it. I'm kind of sick of it, though, at the same time. So, but yeah, man, 2025, we in the spot. Couple housekeeping eyes. I just want to make sure everybody's in tune with the Drama Hours every Friday on Rock the Bell, Sirius XM, Channel 43. If you have it in your car, take a picture. We live every Friday night, 9 p.m. East. Shout out to my brother Papoose. Rest in peace, DJ K. Slay. If you do not have the car, if it's not in your whip, you could download the app, Sirius XM app. So make sure you follow us at the Drama Hour. We got some free trials we give to y'all. So if y'all haven't experienced Sirius XM before, I encourage you to get on it. Rock the Bells is an incredible station, man. We got DJ Technician. Y'all know him from The Locks versus Dipset versus Bun B's up there with a show. Too Shorts up there with a show. There's a lot of like legendary hip-hop shows up there. So salute to my Rock the Bells family. Again, the Drama Hours every Friday night, 9 p.m. East, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Channel 43, Rock the Bells. You know what I'm saying? I know we've been talking a little bit about some of the artists coming up, and we got an artist spotlight that's showcased on the channel. It's actually on the main page of the Commission Cypher. So all the artists that come up here, there's a spot for them to, you could look at their freestyles, and inside the description of the freestyle is a link to all their music, right? So make sure y'all share and give feedback where your feedback's necessary, and continue to join the movement. Hydrobar.io. Make sure y'all hit my guys up here at the Hydro Bar, man. Come here, get your water, hydrate. We hydrate differently over here, man. So peace, man. So let's jump into it, man. Episode 4. Grizz, I know we got a lot of shit to talk about, man. So what's burning out there?
first, Drake is my favorite, so we're gonna talk about Drake to start us off.
All right.
So the last time we were here, funny enough, I know topics come up every week, right? And shit is changing, and it just so happens that this time around just lined up perfectly for us to follow up our last conversation. Drake's have filed a petition in court in Texas and New York against Universal Music Group, and he recently filed a full-blown defamation lawsuit against Universal Music Group.
Wow.
Yeah, and so the difference now is I think the last one was to gather facts, right? He had filed a request or a petition to gather facts or try to substantiate his claims of them inflating numbers for Not Like Us, right? And now at this point, it says that Drake withdrew a legal petition against UMG and Spotify, accusing them of artificially inflating them. And now he has launched a full-blown defamation lawsuit against them, right? And so the things in here are interesting. It says that I think, hold on, because I know we talked about Drake not wanting to fight, right? He can't rap at this point. I think he's out of options.
Right. You made that a focal point, I believe. Yeah, he's got no option.
Yeah, he's done,
This is
right?
what he's doing.
So within the lawsuit, Drake accuses UMG of promoting a false and malicious narrative about Drake via the content of the lyrics and the single artwork and music video for Not Like Us. He also claims that the release of the promotion of the recording has resulted in physical threats to Drake's safety.
Interesting.
Right, absolutely, as well as the bombardment of online harassment. And as such, he fears for the safety and security of himself, his family, and his friends. So Drake is draking right now. Yeah, bro. Jimmy is in full effect, bro. Absolutely. I mean, fuck, I like Drake's music, but damn, bro, like, I don't think
wild,
this ain't
man.
it, bro. I don't think,
it's-
like, he got all the paper. Like, you got enough bread. You don't need to do all that. Like, the ladies like you. They fuck with you. Like,
Right.
you got dude fans. A lot of dudes fuck with your music, too. I just don't see the benefit of this at this point. Like, is it just about the Super Bowl? I know we talked about that last time. Like, is he just trying to avoid them playing this shit at the Super Bowl?
Gotta be, man.
Like,
mean,
bro, for real?
Here's the thing.
The Super Bowl's next month, you know?
So I was skimming through. We had a topic thread, and I was kind of going through it. What was in there about the streamers? Did you see anything in the article about? Because I had seen something about what's the kid's name?
Oh,
that I was talking about.
Kai Cenat?
Cenat.
Yeah, they were saying something like Drake hit him up and was like, keep streaming. I guess before Drake dropped maybe Family Matters or one of the records.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah, I heard about I heard about
That's
it's not
inside the lawsuit, right? Like he
I don't-
called these guys out in the lawsuit.
Who called him out? Drake did?
Yeah, Drake put them in a lawsuit in some fashion, right?
The streamer Kai Cenat? I don't
Yeah.
think he put Kai Cenat in there.
No.
I don't know. It's not. When I search for Kai Cenat's name in this lawsuit, it's not here. I know what you're referencing though. He was streaming, and he told him to stay on that he was gonna drop something, and he did.
okay.
Yeah, it would have been a Drake's benefit because Drake is the one that hit him up. Drake dropped it while Kai was streaming, and
I
Kai
see.
has a huge following,
Yeah,
right?
that kid
His
is amazing,
subscribers
man.
are
Yeah.
endless, and so it would have
Shout to
been
him.
to his benefit because all of his audience would have heard the drop first thing.
Right.
And the video that I saw, that dude Kai Cenat was going crazy in his stream playing the record. So
Yeah, I think what I had seen was that Drake was upset that it's kind of like he was upset initially when the reactions were happening and he was trying to undercut it's basically like there's a fair trade through YouTube, right? Where essentially if a content is owned by someone else, you kind of use it for like, it's like people on the news, right? When they report on the news, they'll clip something from like another news organization, but they'll give them the credit, but it's not like a copyright issue. So I was seeing something to the effect where like Drake was upset that they were helping him out, but he was also upset that like they were doing the same thing for Kendrick. They were doing the Kendrick reactions and the Drake reactions. So I don't know, man. I think it's crazy, man. Like I didn't really think Drake was gonna push it like this.
you know what I did just read though, and it reminded me is that they shot up Drake's crib. Remember?
Didn't they kill it? Or they didn't
was
kill him?
They shot. They hit
shot the
somebody got
bodyguard,
hit
right?
though.
Hard, yeah.
Yeah, and that was after this record drop. So, I mean, maybe. Damn, I forgot all about that. I mean, you know, you live a life and you know, we talked about rapping and keeping it rap and all that, right? But shit, bro, like when you say something about somebody, anything could happen, right? People are crazy. You got fans and you don't know what a fan is capable or might end up doing over music. And it did get violent. And I forgot about that. I just read about that and it reminded me that somebody got shot. Somebody actually got hit outside his crib, and I forgot about that.
I was pissed. I was like, don't be using that move as a fucking as a distraction. But you're right though. I think what happens is his fans get carried away. People who love Drake get carried away, or people who love Kendrick get carried away, and they're like, yo, I'm gonna take matters in my own hands. I'm gonna go to his crib. I seen where he live. It's on the Not Like Us cover. I'm gonna go handle business.
I do think that they intentionally worked to inflate this record, though. I think they knew that Drake is a huge artist, right? They knew that they used him to, you know, Kendrick is a big artist himself, but I think, you know, because of the diss track directed at Drake, like they used that to make money, right? It says this also says that UMG charged Spotify licensing rates 30% lower than its usual licensing rates for Not Like Us, in exchange for Spotify affirmatively recommending the song to users who are searching for other unrelated songs and artists, which is wild, bro.
Yeah, I mean, but when we had that conversation, I think episode 1 or 2, but that's the issue, is that happens all the time. You know what I mean? And
what happens all the time?
Spotify changing their rates for specific artists.
Oh.
So it's kind of like, to me, it's like, okay, I guarantee Drake has had that deal before, right? So for someone else to have it, and it going against you, I could understand why you feel some kind of way, but like, yo, this is the industry. And at the end of the day, they're both UMG artists. Well, so Lucien is at his desk.
They change your rates all the time?
Per artist, absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely, bro. So remember when Scorpion dropped? There was a lot of controversy around Scorpion at the time because I think it was fresh off of Drake's brand new deal. And he had this Spotify algorithm where, like, he was literally in every category. Like, one of his records was, like, in obscure categories of Spotify.
Yeah, rock.
Yeah, like what's happening? So I remember at the time, people were like, we didn't really understand what streaming is now. But I just remember at the time, people were, like, kind of had their eyebrows like, what's going on? Like, why is Drake everywhere? Now, we know Drake's a huge artist, right? And that was a double album, I believe. So usually double albums are usually big releases because the cumulative amount of the album is so large. You know, they try to work their magic because I don't think everybody's going to listen to a double album in a back-to-back sequence. They'll probably take it apart, come back to it. But yes, Drake had an incredible, crazy promotional run with Spotify on Scorpion. So when I heard that, I started to think like, yo, why is Drake upset about it? He got that same deal. So why would he be mad if Kendrick got the same deal? He's mad because it obviously was against him, making him look crazy. You know what I'm saying? But my whole thing about it, bro, is that this is fucking hip-hop, bro. What are we doing? When did we, like, could you imagine if could you imagine if Nas sued Jay-Z at the height of their battle, you know what I'm saying, because he defamed Nas's baby mother?
Wasn't no internet. Wasn't no fucking Instagram, no TikTok. Wasn't no fucking memes of Jay-Z doing Tybo and shit. You know, like at the time there wasn't no video. Like it's a different time right now, and you get fucked up on the internet, bro. Like I would imagine as an artist, it's hard to, you know, like at some point it's probably hard to open your phone, bro. Like shit, my feelings be hurt with some random dude in Iowa fucking gets at me in the comment, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a fucking, you know, like, but so I couldn't imagine.
I get it, and I just think for me, I'm just the type of dude where, coming from a fan's perspective, like my favorite artists that I hold in high regard, like when they had an issue like this, it was like, yo, I'm coming at you, bro. Like let's pick up the mic. Let's go and do what we got to do. Yeah. And you know, it goes back to your point where I think Drake has exhausted all his options, but it's making him look crazy at this point.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think at this point it is too, right? I think, you know, fact finding and all of that, like it's clear that they did that. I mean, based on what you're saying, that this is not uncommon, right?
It happens, bro. And here's the shitty part. It affects artists who don't have that leisure of negotiating with Spotify, or having the upper leg to say, hey, Tidal or Spotify, Apple, come in.
You think it's happened at this level though? Like, because remember, you asked Siri to play Certified Lover Boy and it was playing Not Like Us, right? Like you asked Alexa and it was playing Not Like Us. If you search for certain shit, it was giving you Not Like Us instead of look, what you were searching for. I've never experienced that with anything else.
I'll say that to say this. Do I believe that there's inflation in the music industry for artists? Absolutely. It happens everywhere. Mm-hmm. Just like the rates are switched. It's the same thing. It's just who has the more leverage. Like, so in the case for Drake, he got all the leverage in the world, right? Like, let's be real. Drake is, like, didn't he just get an award, or didn't he just get recognition for, like, the most Billboard? Like, didn't he have 2024, he was like the biggest artist of 2024 on Billboard?
I don't know.
Like, I'm pretty sure like he's number one still. He's the most streamed artist. So my whole thing about it is, if you're gonna take the time out of your day, your busy schedule, moving around, instead of making music, if you're gonna go out there and file these lawsuits, you kind of have to think to yourself, or at least look yourself in the mirror and say, bro, I'm getting mad at someone else for doing the same thing that I did at my height level. You know what I'm saying?
But you don't think it's an ulterior motive? Like, you think it's only because he's hurt with the music of what happened?
I think so.
You don't think it's because he doesn't want him to play it at the Super Bowl, right? Like, and this is his avenue. Yeah. No, right, because if that's the case, then this is the only way he can go about that. Because how is he going to get him to not play it?
How is he going to stop it, though? That's my question.
This is his avenue. This is what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to think through, like, is there another reason that he might have done this outside of... You know what I'm saying? Because I think he's smart enough to realize he's not gaining any ground with fans by doing this. It's not like anybody's going to be like, oh, fucking find Drake really, really dope for filing this lawsuit. Like, nobody gives a fuck. Right. You know, it's actually the opposite's going to happen. I think he's smart enough to realize that. So I'm curious to know why, like, if there's, like, what's going, like, what is the reason that, because he's a smart fucking dude. Yeah. You know? Like, he makes moves that make sense, and then you'll look back and be like, oh, damn, like, all right, like, that made, like, for me at least, like, oh, shit, and so I think we might look back later on and be like, okay, now it makes more sense.
I wonder if, time will tell, obviously, but I do think it's partially, he wants UMG to say, I saw something that he wanted UMG to take the record down. They told him no. Yeah. Same thing with the artwork. When the artwork came out, I remember, like, early in the battle, there was a lot of reporting of, like, oh, Drake's pissed that his house is on the cover, and it violated something. And then UMG was like, no. The thing with UMG, and it's greed at the end of the day, but they're making so much money right now that why would they stop? Why would they? Right. Like, so, and if Drake was in that position, let's just say, let's flip the roles, right? Let's say Drake won this battle. Mm-hmm. And let's say Drake used the angle of Kendrick beating his wife, but Drake won the battle. Yeah. You think Kendrick would do the same thing?
No.
Right.
Yeah, no, of course
not. So I think he's upset about it. And listen, this battle of them two was just, it's literally the biggest battle ever, in my opinion. I think we talked about it like even last week or the week before. Mm-hmm. It's like, this probably might be the best battle as far as impact.
Yeah, and like, visibility, right? Because again,
it was on CNN, bro.
Again, all of the avenues, the ways that you can see, right? You have social media, you have TikTok, you have, Facebook, Instagram, it's everywhere, YouTube,
everywhere.
CNN, apparently,
Bro, I was tripping when I saw it. I said, what the fuck? When the fuck did these motherfuckers give a fuck about hip hop?
Huge.
But I was outside when Jay and Nas was going at, like, no one from the mainstream gave a shit about these two rappers. Like, it was just, the culture wasn't as big as it is now, right? Mm-hmm. So I just think, I hope a couple things happen, to be honest. I hope, number one, I said this before, I think Drake should go away for a little while, regroup, drop that album with him and Party. People will get over that shit. Once you put that album out with Party Next Door, people forget because they want to hear the music. Or come out with a rap album and just go in like you usually do, right? This whole picking the lawyers. The crazy thing to me, though, that I had seen, which it kind of pisses me off, and I hate to get political or try to make it racial or whatever, or whatever the fuck. There was some language in the dispute that Drake was accusing Kendrick of being anti-Semitic. right? And to me, I'm sitting back thinking like, how is that a defense, my guy? Like, what are we talking about now? So I think he's throwing shit at a wall to see what sticks, and he's definitely trying everything he can do before the Grammys and the Super Bowl. When's the Super Bowl?
February.
It's early. Is it mid-February?
8th?
Okay. And then when's the Grammys?
Super Bowl is February 9th.
Okay. Grammys got to be end of February.
February 2nd.
The Grammys are February 2nd?
February 2nd, 2025 at 6 p.m.
Wow.
Damn, so you got Grammys and then.
So if that's the case, he had to hit the gas, right? Like, you got to try and make something happen.
Yeah.
It's January. It's the middle of January officially at this point, right?
Do you
16,
think this
17,
is
14.
detrimental to
16.
Drake's career
No,
overall?
absolutely not.
Do you think
I don't
that-
think the average casual fan even knows that this is going on. I don't think that the casual. I spend a lot of time on Instagram, social media, just for make sure what I do, and I don't I've never even seen this. So,
I mean, yes and no, but I can't. After hitting 1 billion streams on Spotify, I mean, I can't see that nobody knows this. You know what I mean? I feel like, anybody walking down the street knows Kendrick diss Drake. You know what I mean? Like, had this big, battle the whole nine. Like, I really do think it's kind of like a household thing nowadays.
Nah, I think it is too. It became kind of like it's literally pop culture now.
Yeah.
Like I seen a group of kids. Actually, I was at the mall and I seen a group of kids and they was calling some dude a pedophile. Like, and they said it in they said it in the Kendrick way. So I was like, it's connecting with people. And honestly, that might be the reason it might be one of the reasons too that Drake might feel, and let me throw this out there. I'm the mayor of Fair. if Drake, let's say Drake was upset that UMG helped Kendrick more than they helped him during that time frame. What if Drake is using this opportunity to get out of his deal? To say, hey, I'm going to go over there and fuck y'all. Right? I mean, that's a valid point.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised
right?
either.
Again, I think there's a reason for this. Appreciate you. I think there's a reason that this has happened. I don't think that it's an accident, and I don't think it's a coincidence, whether it's, for this not to be played or for whatever.
Yeah.
He's doing it for a reason. It's not, I don't think it's because he's hurt or he's sad or he fears for his life. Like, that's not the case,
You think it's bigger than that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so too. We're going to see what happens, man, but it's just crazy. I thought it was kind of dying out, but I think you bring up a really valiant point that with the Super Bowl coming up, the Grammys coming up, that record's going to be played. It's the biggest record of 2024, right? Wow. But yeah, I think that whole anti-Semitic shit was kind of weird to me. It was just like I didn't really understand the angle because, I remember when we had this conversation about, I think we discussed it maybe on episode 1, but I was pissed. I wouldn't say pissed, but I was kind of concerned of Drake using the Michael Jackson angle. Mm-hmm. I don't know if y'all remember, but I think it was like maybe 2001 when Mike Jack, I think his last album he put out, he was saying the same thing about Tommy Mottola. Like, hey, and then they called Michael anti-Semitic. It's like, yo, nah, like these guys steal money from me. Like, I make them money and then they steal money from me. So I hope at the end of the day that it crushes the way the industry is built because the independent artists and a lot of these artists that I'm blessed to work with day over day and help them navigate, they don't have these opportunities to get 30% cut on Spotify, right? They don't have these opportunities to be able to negotiate at a table at that high level of Drake. So if Drake wants to come down, he up here. If you want to come down and start helping and build a platform, that's what needs to happen. A new platform's got to come out. And maybe Drake is the leader of that, right? Or maybe Kendrick is the leader of that. But something's got to change because at the end of the day, we can't be suing for fucking diss records. That's fucking insane, bro. You know what I mean? Like
he didn't sue. I think it's important to clarify though. He didn't include Kendrick in the lawsuit.
He's basically saying, correct me if I'm wrong. He's basically saying that UMG played a part in financing or helping, which is why they're saying,
yeah. But he's not. Yeah. So I would have. I mean.
But not suing the source is crazy.
Well, it's crazier if you do it. because, and I think UMG said like, yo, if you have a problem, then you
Yeah,
should.
they did. They
you
said in the
should-
original one, right? They
Like,
said
you
if you have
should
a problem
holler
with
at
him, you should get at him.
Right.
But again, I think it's because he has some go. There's a reason, right?
It's sticky
It's like, why you-
situation
why-
because they're both fucking under UMG. They're both underneath the same umbrella.
Yeah.
So to me, I looked at it as like, these guys are making money no matter what. And maybe Drake's at a point now where he's like, you know what, you guys may have made enough off my back. I want out my deal, or hey, I want to, I want to move and go do something else. So we'll see what happens, but it's gonna be interesting, man. The Grammys and the Super Bowl gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, man. But yeah, I think for me personally, I'm disappointed in him. I do think this hurts him, bro. I think this hurts him from a mainstream level. I think it hurts him from the culture's level. But he's gonna be all right, bro. The women still gonna get their kitties wet when he drop a record. We're gonna be singing his song when he drops a record. So at the end of the day, like, come on, bro. Take your L. Go back to the drawing board. Figure it out. You're talented enough to go. Let me ask you, the freestyle he dropped a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on it?
I fuck with it. I think I was gonna mention that he several times has alluded to having like a follow up, right? Like in some of his like that the one he dropped, that No Face, right? He's like he's like some about asking what he's waiting on and shit. Like why hadn't he like? It sounds like he's trying to say that he's got something waiting or something coming.
He got
and
something
so
to cut.
I'm like, why are you like? Shit, it's been months already. At this point, it was already,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Drop,
that was the
son.
summertime. What are you waiting for, bro? Do
Right.
something, you know? So, I like the freestyle, though, to get back to that, my bad. But, yeah, I mean, I want, like, a whole project,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, I think it's time for him to, if you're gonna go away for a little while and curate a project, like make that shit your impact, because
He should just drop a surprise deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
he
I
should.
think at this point, he should just
Absolutely.
put something out.
Put it out.
One day, you fucking wake up, put out a whole project, and people are going to go crazy,
Absolutely.
you know?
But the other thing too is I honestly think part of me feels that he's trying to get out of his deal, and if it's a shitty deal for him, and he's coming out of, because you got to remember when he signed that deal with Apple, and then he ended up having that really really big push. He was up here, and I feel like the quality of the music has dwindled. So he's got to figure something out to get back to where he was, or, again, be on a level playing field. Because I think Kendrick took this opportunity to take the crown from him and be like, yo, this is how we rep. And who knows, bro? Like, maybe Kendrick, I think Kendrick he must have had a new deal with this new situation, because he's talking about being executive, right? He's talking about, yo, I want to do this, I want to do that. And maybe he's got a good deal upcoming for him, but part of me is I think Drake's still upset about everything, and I think he's definitely trying to stop whatever's going to happen in February. And by all means, man, he's going to try to do everything in his power to fucking stop it, but it's not going to happen. Not like us is going to be played at the Super Bowl. Not like us is going to be played at the Grammys. Maybe they don't go through the pedophile line. Maybe they just do the hook and a couple bars from the first verse, but we're going to see what's going to happen.
I mean, I don't even see how this could stop that from happening, right?
That's my thing.
It
How
sounds like
doing this is gonna stop?
I don't think that's the case, because it doesn't even seem like how you're suing the label for helping him. You're not suing him for defamation or anything like that. So it's not like you can't. I don't think it's gonna stop. I think if it's gonna play, they're gonna play the whole fucking song, you know. So I don't think there's any way to stop that, especially with the way that this lawsuit reads. I don't think that's the point. I don't know, but yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. So
yeah, it's interesting, man. I just think it's weird behavior from Drake, and I think it's just an unfortunate situation that guys not being able to take that L. And I see it on the battle rap side, with Chrome 23. There's a lot of girls and guys that come and perform for us and compete. And, in the heat of the moment, you don't want to admit to laws. You don't want to say that I was the loser. You want to be the victor, right? I think all of us want to be the victor, but then there becomes a point where, just like with Jay, man, when Jay was taking the L, he kind of went away for a minute. You know what I mean? Kind of went into hiding, and he came back and was like, yo, I'm back at it. So I don't know, man. We'll see what happens, but it's a developing story, it sounds like. So we'll keep our finger on the pulse on it. What else we got?
our next topic of conversation is another beef. probably a little bit smaller beef, but a feud nonetheless between your people, right?
My peoples.
Diplomats, right? I know you were part of the street team, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
So
man.
this is probably close to home for you. Jim Jones and Cam'ron have some sort of disagreement going on. It's some friction between these dudes. It sounds like there was 50 Cent was on Cam'ron's podcast, and during the interview, Cam'ron told 50 that he felt disrespected when 50 brought out Jim Jones during a 2007 show at the height of the feud between Dipset and G Unit. And then I guess that's what started it, and then Jim Jones responded, and now it's like a full blown. If you've been on social media, this
everywhere.
I hadn't seen anything about the lawsuit on socials, but I seen Jim Jones twerking. I seen
Stop.
I seen some shit. You know what I'm saying? I've seen so
It's the aftermath, everything, all the memes come and
yes, absolutely.
all the
Yes,
distractions
yes,
comes,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Yes, yeah. No, this is definitely people putting out some shit and hating for show. But apparently, yeah. So what do you think? Let me ask you, because I know you.
Yo, this is a tough one for me, man, because you're right, man. My first gig in music was Street Team for the Diplomats. And this was at the time when Dipset was on Rockefeller. So this was like kind of during their heyday. I kind of came at the tail end of it. They was actually kind of migrating over to Independency. A big label at the time called Koch Records. And Jim went over there, and a couple of other guys from Dipset came over there. But I was Street Team during, kind of the tail end of the Rockefeller time, headed into the Independency. But those guys, I love them, bro. Like, each one of them individually. Like, Jewels was the first guy to give me an opportunity in the game. And it was kind of a favor to, a family member of mine. They was running the streets together. So it was kind of like it was kind of a favor for them to, like, yo, my little cousin's out here. I need him off the street. I can't be having him involved with A, B, and C, anything, whatever. And I've had my interactions with them over the years. I actually seen Jim a couple years ago. Shout out to Jim. He was at one of our TuneCore events for PAP, couple of events, and it was nice to see Jim out there. So it hurts my heart, bro, to be honest, because the Diplomats are a legendary hip hop group. When people put their list together of, the top groups of hip hop and
movements,
and I mean the Dipset movement was so influential, bro. Like, from the production style to the clothes, you know what I'm saying, to the talk, anything Dipset related was so influential, right? So it's heartbreaking because and listen, I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of things we don't know about. And I think Cam's the type of guy, he probably isn't going to go out there and spill the beans on everything. And I think Jim is in the same boat. But it's hard to kind of see, because when it goes into the internet, bro, it's out there now. The whole world can see it. The whole world can comment on it, right? So it becomes a point where it's like, damn. Now, here's the other thing. Cam, I saw Cam's piece to his podcast, I guess, where he was kind of addressing the gym situation. And I remember Cam got the show with Mace, right? That what is it called?
Yeah, it is
what it is. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this kind of is a Mace thing, in my opinion, because I remember one of the mixtapes that was circulating around the time I was doing Street Team. I think it was like Jimmy's maybe first or second mixtape. And they had an argument with Cam on the phone at Hot 97. And this is at the time when Mace was coming back to rap from his hiatus. He was a pastor down there in Georgia. And there was always tension, I think, between Jim and Mace. There was a little spat. I remember there was some diss records that went back and forth at Mace. There's a record called Take 'Em to Church where Jewels and, that shit was crazy. I remember Casa was like, everybody welcome in this and welcome in that. he wasn't welcome in the first place. Why we welcome him back? He was like, remember when Mace had the Mr. Rogers in the video where he was Mr. He says, tell Mr. Rogers I put his brains on a trolley check. Like he was just going in. But that was at the time when Dipset was at its the highest it was going. Cam has a unique way to start beefs, right? It kind of goes back to the 50 situation. But it sucks, man. It really does, because I would really like them brothers to come together. And we're coming up on 25 years since the first Diplomats album. In a couple of years, we're gonna be celebrating 25 years of Diplomatic Community. Let's go on a tour, you know what I mean? Let's make that shit happen. So it sucks, man. But honestly, I know y'all might be shocked what I'm about to say, but this is just me. I want to hear some records, bro. Like, let's go. Like, let's not do this podcast thing. Like, if we gonna go in, where's the diss records at? You know what I'm saying?
I think Jim Jones put some out, didn't he?
So Jim's got an album coming out.
Didn't he just put out a diss to Cam MX?
So
right?
I'm not sure, because I was talking to T-Rap about it the other day. Jim has a record out right now. It's called The Shit's Still in Harm. It's a fire record. He just put it out like last week, and he's been kind of teasing the record, but he finally put it out. I know he's got an album coming out. Jim's doing like a sequel to his first album. His first album was called On My Way to Church. So this new album he got coming out is like a kind of a sequel, right, to his debut album. So at first, bro, I'm thinking, yo, this has got to be like a PR thing. Like, we trying to create some energy around here for the album, right? So I'm kind of hopeful. I'm like, well, shit, maybe we get a Dipset track or something or whatever. And then when I saw Cam's video, I was like, damn, they really not vibing. But honestly though, Grizz, is that they've always been wishy-washy with themselves, you know, with each other. And I'm not sure if it's a business thing. I don't know if it's a contractual thing. I just remember when the Dipset shit ended, which was heartbreaking to me. I had to pick a side at the time, and I can only go off of my experience. But I remember there was one section of people in the office who was like clicked up, and then there was another section of people clicked up, and then it was like, yo, it's either us or them. So I knew there was already a divide. You feel me? But you couldn't really tell who it was until it started to make public. Going back to the 2007 show, when 50 brought out Jim and Jewels, that was when we knew it was over, right? And funny thing is, Remy was on that show too. Remy was beefing with Joe at the time. They had a disagreement, and 50 brought Remy out, and that was insane. So like 50 knew what he was doing,
right?
And I don't know if you guys did you guys see the 50 and Cam interview?
I saw a couple clips,
partly.
Bro,
but I didn't see it.
As a fan of both of them, I was like, when he said he was dropping it, I was watching it.
Yeah.
Because this is I want to kind of connect it to the Drake and Kendrick thing, because when we have these hip-hop battles in the culture, right, at the time it gets heated, SMD, fuck your mother, fuck your, all of that. But then there becomes a point where, like, we can come together and make bread. You feel me? And that's the beauty about hip-hop, I think, is because when we keep it on wax, when tempers settle down and the flame kind of comes down, we can come together and make shit happen. It's like when Jay and Nas was beefing, a couple years later they came back and did business together, right? Which was great for the culture, right? I'm hoping Kendrick and Drake at some point can come together. That would be a massive thing. But the crazy thing to me, when 50 and Cam got together, I was like, this is great. For me as a fan, because they was going at it, bro. And to be honest, that was probably the nail in the coffin for the crew, is when 50 came at you. You know what I'm saying? You can't survive a 50 diss record because he on your ass. And that's what happened, So seeing Cam and 50 come together and laugh about it, 10, 15 years later was dope, because that's what we do. So I really hope that, whatever issue Jim got, whatever issue Cam got, or whatever, they could settle it. But in my humble opinion, it starts with Mace.
I think they've left the door open. Like, they haven't been super disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like from what I've seen, like, Cam has not been like real, like on some fuck you type shit.
And Cam can do that.
And I've seen it. I was just gonna say, I've seen him beef with other people, and it gets crazy. Ugly. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But the things that I've heard him say about Jim Jones was more like Like, and I liked you, or I fucked with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, he hasn't been real disrespectful. Jim Jones, in my opinion, has been more disrespectful. Right? I just checked it out. It said he teased a new record for dissing these two. Oh, right?
So we got a diss
but it
record.
wasn't. He didn't put it out, but he teased it, and it was an Instagram reel or some shit like that.
That's
where
what she was talking about the other day.
It was playing in the background, and he.
Because not to interrupt you, but I was telling him Jim got a new record out. And I just got like the clean and dirty for the drama hour, so I'm getting ready to kind of get it together. And I'm like, he wasn't dissing nobody in this record. Like, this is kind of just a Harlem record. So that's what you was talking about. So it's a clip. So he got something in the chamber. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, let's get to it.
Yeah.
Let's bar up.
Yeah, bro.
Because Mace is nice, bro. Like, let's not get into it.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah,
Mace is one of them guys, bro. And then
it's
Cam
crazy that him and Cam have been homies since school. I didn't know that they went back like that, bro. Imagine going to school with the boy and then y'all both blow. That's wild. But Jim Jones is not from Harlem. I just wanted to make that clear.
Yeah, they said he's from the Bronx.
He's from the Bronx. Yeah,
Bro,
I just wanted to make sure.
because
I just wanted to make sure that I said that on this. He's not from.
know, man.
He's
Like,
not from Harlem. His grandma stayed in Harlem.
It can't make
Vinny.
that clear, bro.
Yeah,
But here's the thing, when you go back to early Dipset records, like Jim said that on a record. So like the shit that Cam said to me, like we already knew all this shit. So you're right, it was light. It wasn't very like darted. Like it wasn't like Cam was like, yo, SMD, fuck you, da 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 da. But I seen Cam go crazy.
It was the same with Mace because I was also just reading that Mace had tried to get them together to talk, and either one of them didn't want to, whether it was Jim Jones or whether it was Cam. Somebody didn't want to do that. That's from what I read, right? So I don't know, but I do feel like Jim Jones has held a little bit of
animosity
or jealousy, bro.
Jealousy.
It's too many Chiefs and not enough Indians. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody wants to be the boss.
Be the top guy.
There's some big egos in a group like that. You know what I'm saying?
Hard,
and it's hard for somebody to fall back and be like, especially like, I never met Jim Jones. You know the dude better than I do. But from what I could tell, this dude, you know, he wants to be the motherfucking boss of, you know what I'm saying? Like he wants to be in charge. And it seems like in a situation, you can't be you're gonna have to let somebody take the rank. You know what I'm saying? Like you might not be the boss, right? And sometimes that's all right, bro.
Nah, I get it. I mean, it's weird because I've always had great interactions with all of them. I've never gotten any crazy vibes from them individually. I just know that Jim's been the constant out of the clique, and shouts to Jim. Like, you know, when the breakup happened, Jim was out here grinding, like doing projects, doing mixtapes. Like he's still very active, and I think when we look at it from that level, you know, when people think of Dipset now, they do think of Jim. You know what I mean? At the moment, and listen, Cam was the originator, and I love what Cam is doing now. Like I was just telling T-Rav that. A good friend of mine, bro, like he's kind of out of the music scene, but he loves the show. It's his favorite show. It's a sports show. So Cam is bringing his swag and his flavor to the sports arena, and it's a beautiful thing. But me, little old me, I want Cam to rap. I want to hear some Cam shit. You know what I'm saying? So I get conflicted because it's like Jim's always putting in the work. Jim's always active out here. His pen game has gotten incredible over the years. That some people might look at that and be like, yo, Jim's the leader of Dipset. And maybe Cam has an issue with that. You know what I mean? But I'm telling you, Mace is out there with the popcorn. Yo, Mace is loving this shit. So what I would like is if Jim got a diss record, right? There's a clip of it. I got to see this shit. Yo, let's just go. Let's pick up the mic, baby. Let's go. Best man wins.
I would imagine if he puts some shit out, they're going to respond, right?
Absolutely.
I don't think Mace or Cam's the type.
You told me you wouldn't think Cam would go at him. You don't think so?
You don't think he will respond?
I don't think Mace would.
No, I think Mace would respond.
Well, Mace, I feel like he's like, you know, that like, you know, conservative. He's gonna like, you know, he's gonna
murder
like,
Mace. Nah, bro.
As of right now, but then you get Cam. Like, yo, Cam will just rip him up.
But that's the thing is like. Yo, Mace is gonna be.
Yeah, he's gonna be like that like silent hitter.
So, did you guys see the little trailer that they had over the weekend of them promoting for that show where Cam addressed the situation? Did you guys see that trailer?
No.
So they're in a car, right?
Yeah.
And Cam and Mace having a conversation. And he's like, yo, you fucked up the bag when me and you split up. He's like, yo, 98, you fucked up the bag, and look where it got you. And he's like, yo, follow my lead now. So I think Mace is back there, you know, saying like, yo, what we gonna do about it?
Yeah.
What we gonna do, Cam? And I love that from a competitive standpoint, because it's like the guys that came during that era. This is how I feel this way, because when Cam started the rant, he was pulling up his freestyles from 95. Cam was in a group with Mace, Big L, Herb McGruff, and his cousin Bloodshed. It was called the Children of the Corn. And they was doing these crazy freestyles, bro. And they was getting, they was getting notoriety. So Cam set it off with bars first. So I already knew when I got done with the video, I was like, yo, this is light. Like, we know Cam, we know Jim was Bronx/Harlem going back and forth. What are we really doing here? So if Jim's got a record cooking up, I expect a little beef on wax. And I'm all
expect it
for
from
it.
Cam, 100%.
You don't expect it from Mace?
I mean,
You want to put money on it?
I mean,
I'll bet you a blunt.
I'm sure they're going.
I'll bet
sure
you a blunt and a gallon of this hydro water.
I mean, yes, but like, I'm sure it's gonna be like one of those lock situations where like everybody's just
out?
ripping them up, just everybody.
But that's what I want out of it at the end of the day. Like, I hope them brothers can come together and get the business right. I remember when I had seen, do you guys remember when they was doing a lot of the verses after the pandemic? They did the Dipset and the Locks. Fat Joe did the Ja Rule. They did
Gucci
a couple
and
other
Jeezy.
ones. Yeah.
That was probably the best one.
That was crazy.
That was disrespectful, but it was fire. But like, I remember there was talk about them doing a tour with a lot of these kind of like early 2000 groups. Like Dipset and the Locks were gonna do a tour together, and then like Joe was a part of that, Remy was part of that. So there was a lot of talks internally. And if you guys have seen, like, there's been a lot of these like festival style shows, but they're not really dedicated for hip hop. They're more of like rock, pop, hip hop. They're all kind of mixed together, right? So it would have been a dope avenue, and I hope no one fucked up that bag, because I know at the time people were offering a lot of money for all these artists to come together and do tours. You know what I mean? Like, look at Live Nation. They got the market corner right now. They making all the money. So it would have been dope for that to happen. So I just hope they come together and figure it out. But in the meantime, if we get a couple diss records, bro, I'm all for it, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What do you think? You think Cam's going to respond?
I think they'll both respond. I think
think
Cam
so,
and
too.
Mace will, and I like Mace. I fuck with Mace. I like Mace a lot.
Mace
So-
is
Mace
fire.
one of my favorites, bro.
Yeah,
Mace is so
absolutely.
fire,
But
though.
I think ultimately I think they'll work it out, bro. They've been homies for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like this,
And you
it's
know,
hard
too,
to beef
like-
with somebody you really fuck with,
Right.
bro. You
like,
know what I'm
and
saying?
You know,
Like
sometimes, like, with your homie, like,
your
you
boys,
have
you
up
go
and
through
downs.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely,
like,
bro. Yeah, you'll go through some shit.
I've been through that
Absolutely.
shit
Well, your
where it's
boys,
like-
yeah, most def.
But you
100%.
still want them to ride. You still want them to,
Yeah,
succeed and all
absolutely.
of
Like
that.
if something happens, like, even if I'm beefing with my homie, bro, like I'm gonna be there. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Like
right,
I'm gonna
right.
show up. So
But there's that competitive piece too, where it's
Yeah.
like, and these guys are rappers. Like, I have to tell people a lot of time, like, you gotta remember, like, rap is a competitive thing, bro. Like, I hear stories all the time, like, rest in peace, Slay. Slay would tell me these stories that, like, he would try to plot sending rappers records, but he needs to, he didn't want them to hear the other rapper on the song, so he just sent an instrumental. You don't know who you're going up against, but you better spit. And then, like, there'd be talks like, yo, Pap would be like, I don't know who I'm going up against, but I gotta kill these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Ransom, the same thing. Fabulous, the same thing. Like, these guys have a competitive edge to them where, like, they want to be the best.
yeah,
And in my opinion,
absolutely, bro.
Jim has tested his pen. He's done a great job over the years of enhancing the pen. Cam has been nice since he fucking started rapping.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mace the same thing. So I'm with it. I'm with it. But I hope it doesn't spill into some dumb shit. You know what I mean? And we go back to, I think Cam said it in the video. He's like, yo, we trying to elevate. Like, we ain't trying to go back to some other shit. So I just hope it doesn't go that far.
Hopefully, it ends
Shout
up resulting in some good music.
Yep.
You know,
Get the streams up.
put us right into our next topic.
Yes.
Rolling Stones 10 greatest albums of 21st century. So,
What was in the list?
the list. These are the top 10 in order, right?
In order.
Number 1. Let me ask you what if I'm gonna put you on a spot, your number 1 album of all time.
Of the 21st century?
Yes, 21st century. Let me ask you.
21st century. So that's 2000 and above. Oh my God, bro. That's hard.
Get Rich or Die Trying.
Okay.
That's probably my number 1 from
ain't mad at that.
from 2000 and above.
2000 and above. 2000 and above.
It's either Get Rich.
Bro, you got me fucked up, Grizz. I don't even know, bro. I'd probably have to go, me personally. I had to
Good
put,
Kid up there.
What about you? Your number one. Let's go. Your number one. What he thinks about his.
It's either Get Rich or Good Kid.
Okay.
Good
All
Kid,
right.
Mad City is.
I think
It defined like my growing up. Like
I agree.
it
I would-
solidified
you're
my
that
my,
age
my
for
high
sure.
school years.
That's how
Like,
it was. That's how Get Rich or Die Trying is for me.
Yeah, like-
I graduated. Well, I was supposed to graduate in 2005. I graduated in 2007, but Get Rich or Die Trying came out like 2004, 2003,
Yeah.
right?
Okay,
And
yeah.
so yeah. So for me, those were like my years.
I ain't
you know what I'm
mad at
saying?
that,
Like,
bro.
Yeah,
bro,
like,
I can't.
like
I
Good
grew up.
Good Kid was my freshman year.
Yeah.
So like,
Boom. That's
was-
like
that's
your
my high
anthem.
school.
That's like
my
to
high
your
school.
whole. That like it tells your story. You know what I'm saying? You probably have some dope memories to that. That's how I feel about Get Rich or Die Trying. It's like in all of my favorite high school memories, that was playing.
Get Rich, yeah.
You know, there was like we were listening.
I don't
to
know,
that.
man. I
Right.
think for me, man, I'm a
And it's a
probably
banger front to back, top to bottom. You can't
Exactly.
skip. It's no skips.
classic, bro. It's crazy too during that time. Like that album came and just like it was a nuclear bomb, bro.
Oh, it changed everything, bro.
Changed
It changed everything. Everybody wanted to be like 50 Cent. Everybody wanted, you know, if you were a gangster, bro, you were
It-
getting
it was
play.
the-
You
form-
got shot
the-
9 times, right?
I
It's the
think we-
mold for hip hop.
Absolutely, for a
Exactly.
minute.
It was like that.
And they
style
came
of
through and
production.
decimated everybody, bro. Ja Rule, who?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Who?
Like Ja Rule, and bro, you think about it, Ja Rule was huge, dog. And
Was you a Ja Rule fan back then?
absolutely. I mean, when I was a freshman in high school is when Ja Rule started getting popping here at least. And yeah.
I love
absolutely,
Ja
bro. I did like Ja Rule, bro. And then 50 came out and I was like,
You're like, fuck
Ja
that.
Rule, bro.
Yo, hold on.
You know
Before
what
I
I'm
tell you
saying?
my pick, I used to hate that shit. It was like I think we talked about the first episode. He's like, yo, pick a side.
I was
bro.
picking sides, bro.
I could never, bro. Like even when we was beefing, like I remember there are certain things that, you know, I've been blessed to be a part of with Pap. Like Pap was going at a lot of people after his cousin passed.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Big Sean, Kendrick, and I'm like, you know, I couldn't pick a side because I love all these guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, yo, it's hard to pick a side. But
You
I know a lot of people
come from
did,
New
bro.
York, so you have a bit more of a connection to these people. I'm in New Mexico. I don't know nobody. So for me, it was like Ja Rule's just some character
like,
on
whatever.
TV. He's not real to me. You know what I'm saying? So of course, in my mind, I'm like,
Was you one of those guys that like when 50 came out with like when he started doing the sing song shit, like you wasn't mad? He's like, yo, you just took Ja's style right now, bro.
no, I was singing and shit.
He was
too.
like,
yeah, absolutely. No, I was on that same shit.
Honestly, I think probably I say Jay-Z the Blueprint has got to be up there, bro.
Yeah, that's definitely that's a good one.
And then 21st century. 50, I would definitely put up there, Get Rich or Die Trying. And then, you know what, I think because of the impact, bro, and the way that it really changed the music game, Kanye, the College Dropout.
Okay.
College Dropout.
You
That's
could
a good
pick,
one.
you could pick like 3 different.
You could
Those
probably
are
do a
those
couple
are all.
different Kanye
I thought about the Blueprint right away. I like that, but for me, I wasn't a huge Jay-Z fan until I got a little bit older. I didn't start listening to Jay-Z like that until probably I turned 30. You know what I'm saying? And then I started listening to Jay-Z more. And but 50, immediately he was a phenomenon for real. You know what I'm saying? Like
It's crazy. I knew 50 was gonna be insane so I remember it was a Clue tape. It was a DJ Clue tape. He had did this freestyle and I think it was after he had gotten shot, but like his voice changed so much, but like bro, you could feel like every emotion coming out the bars, like the pain. I'm about to prove all you motherfuckers wrong.
Yeah.
And I was hooked after that, bro. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
And then he started doing the Junior tapes, and then obviously he signed with him. But like, and that's the other thing too is I think, you know what other album I'm gonna put in there? I think Eminem's the second and third album, the Marshall Mathers and Eminem Show.
Okay. Yeah, man.
Those are up there, bro.
I agree.
Because M, like, I think musically, when we look at kind of music, the musicality of hip hop,
Yeah.
I don't think there's a lot of people who are musically inclined, and M's one of those guys. And obviously, he was executive produced Get Rich, so he's got his hand in a lot of shit. But
Marshall Mathers is to this day still holding down.
Yeah.
Like, you could still say that that's his best album.
Yo, I remember.
Oh, the Marshall Mathers. I mean, it's either Slim Shady LP or Marshall Mathers LP for me.
For you?
Absolutely. As far as his best work,
Yeah.
I think.
But I mean,
sure.
you're talking, what, we already hit 25 years. What, we're 27 years?
From Slim Shady?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Slim Shady came out in 99. January of 99.
So it's like, you're talking something, to that extent.
What was
still
on the
holding
list?
down.
I'm curious, man. What was the top 10?
So here we go. That's what I was gonna say. I was just gonna say, it's interesting. I mentioned Get Rich or Die Trying. You mentioned Blueprint. You mentioned College Dropout.
Yeah.
Get Rich or Die Trying. You also mentioned Eminem. You also mentioned Kendrick, Good Kid, Mad City. 2 of those albums made this list. Actually, no, 3. So we were close. The number one though, none of those were number one. Number one was actually Stankonia by
Really?
Outkast. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's what?
Okay.
That's a great album too.
Yeah,
Wow.
it absolutely
I didn't
is.
even think about Stankonia.
Yeah,
That's a great album.
absolutely. And that's not in the same like vein as I think. Well, I wouldn't. They have their own style, their own sound. You know what I'm saying? And
always
so
have.
it's definitely different than Jay-Z or Eminem or 50. You know what I'm saying? Or even Kendrick. You know what I'm saying?
To piggyback off that, like when you guys are growing up with hip hop, was it more like for you? Was it more like a regional thing? Did you kind of stick with like the region or just the style, or did you kind of dive into different things? Like me and Callie talked about him being like so entrenched with like a tribe, but then be able to flip it to some gangster shit. Like, were you guys, ambidextrous as it related to kind of hip hop? Like, were you?
Well, like-
would you bump an Outkast album and then flip to a Kendrick or a Jay? Like, were you one of those?
I listened
kinda
to
growing up?
everything. I grew up listening to. My mom had older siblings that were like older. So my aunt was real into like the Gap Band and SOS Band, and you know what I'm saying. And then my mom was into like Ozzy Osbourne and like Dio and shit, like rock and roll. You know what I'm saying. And my uncle was real into Key Sweat and Guy and DJ Quick and shit like that. And so I got put on a rap through my uncle, but I had such a diverse. I was exposed to such a diverse set of music that I listened to everything. So I would listen to anything. If it was dope, I would listen to it, bro. I didn't care.
I was the same way, bro. Like
Yeah.
I loved Outkast.
I just like good music, bro.
There's a lot of people. I remember growing up. I remember I copped the Stankonia album, and they had a different cover. I don't know if I got the special edition or what, but it was literally a girl's fat ass with her peach showing, right? It was an illustration, though, right? And I remember my homie's like, yo, what is this? I'm like, yo, this is Outkast. I loved Outkast, bro, back then. It was, but I would listen to down south shit. Of course, I was from the East Coast, so I was a little biased to the East Coast shit. And that's my preference, but
Of course.
West Coast, I want to hear what they talking about down south. What was the other 9? I'm curious now.
So number 2 was actually Good Kid, Mad City,
Squad.
which was a dope album, right? I think I had listened
That's
to.
still on the Billboard.
Yeah, I started listening to Kendrick. I found one of his songs on YouTube. I think it's called "Cut You Off." I don't know if y'all have heard it. It's a video of him in like the
it's
booth, whatever. And then I listened to Section 80. Right, was probably I remember listening to that album.
Section 80 was crazy.
And then so I knew of Kendrick Lamar, and I thought he would be. I never imagined he would be where he is at now, but
Either one.
this album was just I liked it. I thought it was great. I think it definitely deserves to be in the top 10 for sure. It's a really good album. Your favorite track? What is your Good Kid, Mad City? What's your favorite?
Ugh. Sing About Me is crazy. Honestly, Shireen. Shireen has to be like, if I had to take away from the one, it'd be Shireen.
Okay.
Going to meet up,
Yeah.
on the next toe.
Yeah.
And then you ended up
Mine's
getting
a joint
stuck
with,
up.
With MC8. What's that record called?
Isn't that Mad City?
Good Kid, Mad City?
That's Mad City.
That shit is
Yeah, no,
hard,
that
bro.
Mad City's crazy. That little breakdown at the end.
You know what's dope about Good Kid was that it was an audio movie, bro.
Yeah.
And that's what I told you when Kendrick was first coming out. So it's funny you mentioned that. I didn't think he was gonna be that big, and I'll tell you why. K. Slade told me when he started messing with Kendrick, he had a conversation with Top. He told Top, he's like, "Yo, look, man, kid's crazy talented, but like no one wants to hear that lyrical shit. He's like, you see the shit I had to deal with Papoose? And Top was like, man, we're gonna have to find a way. And Kendrick found a way, but he did it by studying the classics, right? And having those albums before him that were the movies, like, you know, Cuban Links and a lot of those albums that came before that were really, really audio movies, man. He took it to a whole nother fucking level, bro.
The art of peer pressure, by far.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah.
it.
I'm with the homie.
Yeah.
I took a left. Yeah, that shit
Took
was,
the left and a right.
he's just, Kendrick was, that's crazy. And I agree with you. I think it definitely should be up there in the top.
Number
10.
three.
Number 3.
My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Wow, I
Kanye.
forgot
Yeah.
about that.
That's a
joint.
good one.
That's
another good
that
one.
that was the other one that I was gonna say. It's like you could say that's his best album.
Yeah, I like it. I'm a fan. I like.
Where does that rank
It's not
in
my
your-
favorite. You said what?
Where does it rank in your Kanye? Is it one of your favorites?
In my Kanye? No. I would say Graduation is probably. I like Graduation. I'm a fan of Graduation.
My wife loves
Reminds me
Graduation.
of a good time in my
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
You know, I always remember. You know, when it comes to music, I don't know if everybody does that, but for me, right, it's like.
It takes you back to that film.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
yeah.
that was a good time in my life. And then I like 808s and Heartbreaks. I just like 808s and Heartbreak. I just really like the sound at the time, right? You could tell he's going through some shit, right?
Bro, if you think about that album, I actually didn't like that album at all. But when you look back on it, no, I'm serious. That actually changed music, bro. Yeah. Like everybody started producing like that, and then I think to me that's what birthed like the Cuddies and the Drakes and
For sure.
that style of hip hop where it was very melodic and you know what I'm saying. But yeah, that was mad impactful, bro. For real.
you got a favorite track from that one? Mine's Runaway.
Yeah, Runaway's fire.
Runaway's got to be the best.
Nah, what's the one with Raekwon?
So
Gorgeous.
called-
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Okay.
By far. Gorgeous, bro. Kanye kills that, and then Raekwon just raps it all
I like
together.
Monster, bro. Monster was dope.
Monster's dope. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good one too.
What was 4?
Number 4, Blueprint. You mentioned that.
Okay.
Heart of the City for me is my favorite one. I think Song Cry, right? These are all, but
It would have to be Song Cry.
yeah, Song
For
Cry
sure.
is a fire ass song.
That
That
one's
shit is
hard, bro.
crazy.
I
Yeah.
like The Rulers Back. I like Girls, Girls, Girls. You know what's crazy about that album too is you mentioned kind of taking you back to a time when the towers dropped, bro. The shit came out the day that the 9/11 happened. It just changed the whole. It really changed hip hop at that time because Kanye and Just were doing those soul samples, and that's what
Oh,
really
that You
kind
Don't
of.
Know sample? Oh, my God.
You Don't Know is one of my
Oh,
favorites.
my
on there,
God.
too.
That has to be probably my favorite Jay-Z
I love
beat.
Renegade. Renegade is fire.
Renegade is fire.
Yeah, that album. I think that was
Eminem
another like
murdered on
album
your own
like
shit.
808s to a point where, or even Dark Twisted Fantasy, where like it pivoted the game, bro. Like everybody started to incorporate the soul sampling, and
Mm-hmm.
they really copied Jay after that. Like literally, he laid the blueprint, and they just fucking follow suit.
I agree. Another good album. I think we talked about that one. We knew that one was coming. Under Construction, Missy Elliott. This was a surprise to me. I'm not a huge Missy Elliott fan.
Really?
I'm not
Missy
saying
sound.
she's great. She's
I
just
love
not.
Missy, though.
I'm not. It's not something that's in any of my playlists or anything like that. So, but I mean, I wouldn't. I'm not taking nothing away from her. Under Construction is hers. I don't even know what's on that album, to be honest
So
with you.
that was when Missy was doing
It's
like,
Work It is on that one.
Yeah, so that was when like her and Timbo were doing like it was kind of like a throwback to like the 80s hip hop. So they were using a lot of break beats from the 80s. Sonically is probably why it's up there because when you listen to that
Yeah.
album sonically from a production tip, bro, it
Yeah,
gives
the-
you kind of
the
like that
Missy
80s feel, right? But it's like it's the new shit. You know what I'm saying? Wow, I didn't expect that either, man. But that is a great album though. That's actually a really good album from Missy. What else was there?
Take Care by Drake is the
Wow.
the next song. I'm not a fan of that choice.
Take Care his second?
Is his first? Oh yeah, it is his second one.
That's
actually.
that one with Marvin's
What's his first
Room.
one called? I always forget. So Far Gone?
Thank Me
Thank Me Later.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thank Me Later. Yeah, I didn't like Thank Me Later, but I did like Take Care.
Thank
That's
Me
actually
Later.
one of my favorite Drake albums. Take Care.
I do like Take Care. But again, the time of my life was not great. So my favorite track from this album is actually the Kendrick Lamar, Buried Alive.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite. I like Marvin's Room. Everybody likes Marvin's Room, but Buried Alive is probably my favorite. My favorite. He just kills it. He goes off, bro.
Was Over on that one, or was
No.
What was the first single?
That was Headlines.
Yeah.
How did? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, fucking right.
Okay. Yeah, I like. Hey, I'm not a super duper heavy Drake fan, but that's actually one of my favorite Drake.
Yeah,
it might be.
I think a lot of
favorite
people
one.
consider it one of his best, if not his best.
Good,
I like Drake a lot, so for me, it's like I like. I'm not even gonna say the one that I like because it's gonna start some shit. Nah.
Which one you
I'm
like?
gonna start some shit.
Which one you like?
You know.
If You're Reading It's Too Late?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fire, bro.
Yeah.
That's actually one of my favorites.
Oh, okay, good. All right, let's
no,
just
no.
move along. Okay. This
It was
for every
written like
time.
Nas, but it came from Quentin.
Right, absolutely. Thank you. That's the shit. And then we had this debate. We've had it before about the
ghostwriting shit.
right, and so that's why I didn't want to talk about it.
Oh, all right.
Quentin didn't write the whole fucking thing.
All right.
Wrote, he provided some
The
reference
fact that
tracks.
he had to write something was insane to me.
You could say how Kanye said that he wished Drake could write all his records for him.
That's true, but that's why I put Drake in that Kanye level.
Right.
Like, I don't put Drake in like a Kiss level or a Biggie level, but I put Drake in that category.
What? Father
Dre
Stretch
and-
My Hands.
Drake wrote that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yes.
Is that the one we talking about bleaching his girl's asshole or something like that?
No.
No.
Oh, that was the other joint.
No,
Bro.
yeah,
Get outta here.
and then he wrote,
What the fuck?
and
Why
then
do you
he,
immediately think that, bro?
Because I remember that. It stood out to me. I was like, yo, what is Kanye
Violent
talking about?
Crimes.
Which one?
It's called Violent Crimes.
Uh-uh.
So it's like shit could get menacing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's
Drake did that
there's
too.
a Drake reference track for that one where Drake is singing that, right? So
Makes sense, though.
I don't want to hear none of that shit because nobody hates on Kanye for having a Drake ghostwrite for him. And then
But you know
people are
why
like,
we don't hate on
Drake
it?
had a
It's
ghostwriter.
Because Drake don't come out. Kanye don't come out here saying, I'm the greatest rapper alive.
Did Drake say that? When did Drake say that shit?
Drake be saying, yo.
When did Drake ever say
If
that?
he doesn't say that, his fans do.
Maybe that's what it is.
Oh, okay, so let's beat him up about it.
Yes.
I'm just saying, show and prove, baby.
I mean, cut it out, bro.
But that's the weird-
Kanye West has to be the most
Here's the thing,
arrogant
though.
person on the planet, bro.
To be fair to Drake, okay, he doesn't need someone to write his shit. But, however, it's very similar to me of the Dre and the Kanye. Dre never wrote his shit. We don't get mad at him, right?
At
Kanye the
all.
same thing.
None of it.
We shouldn't be mad at Drake for it.
But Dre is talented in other ways.
Right.
Drake doesn't produce like
Kanye
Dr. Dre.
as well. Drake too.
So anyhow, moving on. The Carter 3. I could totally agree that I would
Really?
take the Carter 2 over the Carter 3. Carter 2 is my favorite Lil Wayne album. But Carter 3. I don't know if you remember, at least here, and
It was insane.
The
Everywhere.
buzz around that album,
my
and when
God,
it
it
dropped,
was
the first week sales,
unavoidable.
I think it was like the last album or one of the last albums to do sales like that.
Yeah.
Right? Because that was right when streaming was coming along. Physical albums were headed out the door, and that whole album was like a vibe. That I think for a lot of people tells the story of their youth too. That's like another one. It's like
Exactly.
the soundtrack to your early 20s for me, right? It was that shit came
that's a
out. I
big
remember,
album, bro. Makes sense.
a lot of good times to that one. This one, I mean, you might agree. I don't even want to get into it. Madvillainy. MF Doom. Yep.
yeah.
Mad Lib.
I mean,
MF Doom is so complicated,
Right.
complex.
And again,
I love it.
that's why you're here. I'm here
yeah.
to nod my head and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to. I don't want to.
You don't want to think.
No.
Fuck.
I just want to drive. I want to get in the
The thing
car
about
and vibe
Doom,
out.
though, is like, it makes sense why he's up there. That album, actually, it's another one of those albums, and I'm kind of getting the theme here. It seems like they put these albums together based off of really the impact. I remember from a production standpoint, that changed a lot of shit in hip-hop, especially for, like, the spitters. You know what I mean? Like, Jay came in with the soul sampling, and then I think Kanye morphed it into, like, that melodic. You got to think about it. Like, Jay and Nas were kind of the last of their era of the Rakim-esque, Kane-esque, Cool G Rap-esque rapper. And then it kind of like 50 came in with like that Mace style. And then Kanye came in with like this whole another crazy style. But from from kind of the spitter side, that MF Doom from a production standpoint, it definitely fucks shit up. And hey, rest in peace, MF Doom.
Absolutely.
He's one of the dopest MCs to put rhymes together. But you're right. It's an acquired taste.
Exactly, and that's why I say I'm not going to get into it because I'm not qualified to say what about this album.
Yeah.
I couldn't
peep it. You know, you'd be kind of, if you just put yourself in that time capsule from when it dropped. I'm pretty sure you're musically inclined.
Yeah,
I can
absolutely.
see why people went crazy for this shit. Because I just remember when that shit dropped. I got onto it late. I had this kid that I used to roll with in school. He was like an underground hip hop fan. Like he was like, if it's not underground, it ain't right. And I used to always like, what?
Stinky feet and shit.
What? He like lived in his mom's basement for like ever. But he put me onto some shit. But like, I remember telling him like, yo, these beats are insane, bro. And then like De La Soul started fucking with MF Doom, and then Doom just became like this huge force, bro. You know what I mean? And it's impactful, so it makes sense. It makes sense.
Next. I don't To Pimp a Butterfly.
Wow.
I just say, I mean, I
See, and that ended my high school.
a lot of people say that that's his best album, right? I've heard a lot of folks say Pimp a Butterfly is Kendrick's best album.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge. I've heard it. Of course, I don't think it's his. I like Good Kid, Mad City. I don't like that he's got 2 in the top 10. I feel like there's way too many albums post 2000 that could have been put into this.
I'm surprised the College Dropout's not in there.
I'm
Is he
surprised
number 10?
Get Rich or
Who's
Die
number 10?
Trying is not. Bro, Get Rich or Die Trying was so impactful. Number 10, Marshall Mathers LP. Thank God that's on there because I think it deserves to be.
Yeah.
But I think there are far more as far as like impact and all that. Like Good Kid, Mad City, or excuse me, To Pimp a Butterfly is a dope album. It's fire.
It's crazy.
Right? I think he got a lot of credit for that.
That's when he won the Pulitzer, right?
Right,
Pulitzer
absolutely.
for it.
Yes. And so I think he was recognized for that. Most definitely, but I do think that there are other albums out there that should have had the spot. So
yeah, maybe you can swap out like a Missy or something. I mean, I think I kind of understand, but at the same point, it's like the thing about Kendrick, bro, that's weird to me is like I don't like every song and I don't like everything that he does, right? But the point A to point Z, you know what I'm saying? Like the story he's telling, it's like holy shit.
I feel like Damn is a better album. I like Damn.
Damn is really good.
I like Damn top to bottom. I don't skip a track. I don't skip anything when I could listen to Damn the whole way through, and that's like 18.
Don't get me wrong. The Good Kid, Mad City story is so rich.
Yeah.
But it was musically pleasing.
Yeah.
You could you can bump it.
Yes. That's
To
why I
Pimp
fuck
a
with it.
Butterfly is it's so story driven that you have to sit down and listen.
Yeah.
Damn is literally the combination of both.
Yeah.
If you're not paying attention, it's going to go over your head.
Yeah.
But it's still sonically pleasing to where you could just bump it in the car.
Yeah.
Right. No, you're right. No, that's the best way to put it.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
And now I think when I first heard Pimp a Butterfly, it took me actually a while to really understand it. Like I had to take my time with it, you know.
Bro,
and that's what I was saying earlier. Is like I like albums that you can marinate with. Like I like to go back to. I like to revisit it.
I remember my homie was like, "Who is he talking about? Or what is he talking about? What red button? What red button is he close to with Snoop? What can he press?" And I'm like, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out myself. And that was like almost 2 years after the fact.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Pardon me. Kendrick reminds me a lot of Lupe. When Lupe used to drop his albums back then, and it's kind of our era. When Lupe was putting albums out, bro, like it was, bro, it was complex. Like you had to sit there and make sure that you weren't playing a game. Like you had to literally sit there and just kind of take it in. And then once you figure it out, you're like, holy shit. And that's what happened with the Pimp a Butterfly. So that's dope, man. Dope, man.
Yeah, that's a top 10.
Mine would be a lot different though, for sure.
Yeah, mine would definitely be a lot different.
A lot different.
I think I agree with some of these, but certainly not all of them.
I would have put not. Oh, why would I say it's 21st century?
You would.
I would have put like I don't know, man. I probably would have put. I would have put like Scarface The Fix in there. That was a great album, man. That came out I think in 2002. My list would be a lot different for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, you can have the documentary in there.
That's not a bad pick. You know what I'm saying? That was a very
Get
impactful
Rich.
record.
That
too.
was it. That
But that
album
was like an extension of
brought
Get
back
Rich.
the West Coast because if you think about it, right, the West Coast had been, it wasn't nobody putting on for the West Coast for a long time.
I think
right?
Exhibit was like the last star from the West Coast.
From the West
and that was
Coast,
like late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Yes, absolutely. So yeah. Next topic of conversation: Beanie Sigel announces AI project.
I can't wait.
On IG, right?
I can't wait, baby.
You know about it.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
A lot of dope AI shit coming. A lot of people kind of scared about AI. A lot of people are like on the fence about it. But this is one of the things that I think is super dope about technology companies and music companies coming together.
I think it's a really great idea too.
Bro, it's amazing. So a lot of people complain about Sigel's voice. You know, after he got shot,
changed.
lost his lung, it changed. The bars are still there, but the voice. So I'm excited, man. I saw Freeway posted something this week about it being like, yo, we coming back. State Property's coming back.
Yeah, absolutely. They're
excited,
going to use AI to get his old voice back.
Yeah.
If you do not know, if you aren't aware of what they're going to do with AI, they're going to use artificial intelligence to produce an album. Well, I don't know about to produce, but they're going to produce an album with the AI giving the vocals in his old voice.
Did you,
which is great because his old voice is tough.
Yo, Sigel, one of my favorite MCs.
That's
like,
classic shit,
he's
you
in
know what I'm
my,
saying?
he's probably in my top 20 of all time, bro. You know what I'm saying? So for him to kind of come back in and do his thing is gonna be exciting. So DOC from NWA is doing the same thing. I don't know if you heard about that.
No,
so
I didn't.
Did you hear Eminem's last album? The new one?
The
The Death of Slim Shady?
no.
So it's a concept album where he's basically he's fighting himself.
Okay.
But there's AI elements in that too, where like you hear Eminem's old voice in it.
Oh,
So they actually came out with a report last week that M's used this specific company, which I think is the same company Siegel's using. So he's in good company, man. He's got a good technology company to make that shit legit. Because when you hear the Eminem album, like, you're like, what is it? Now, some of the records on his new album were recorded like in 03, 04.
Yeah.
So it's still his old voice. But like some of the new stuff, you could tell it's his new way of rapping, but it's his old voice. It's fire, bro.
that's wild. I'm gonna have to check it out.
Oh, that's dope.
That sounds cool. Yeah, technology is definitely getting to a crazy level, and I think that when it's dope when it's used appropriately, for sure.
Absolutely.
Lupe Fiasco announces a 24-hour AI radio station, which is called Endless Lupe.
Yeah, I saw that. I wonder what it's about. He didn't really give a lot of information. He just
Yeah.
said it's like it's coming soon. How is
Yeah.
that even like what?
I don't know. In the article, it says, imagine if I'm gonna paraphrase, but imagine if it only played a generated song once and never again endlessly. Now imagine that radio station was only available for certain periods of time and only in certain locations, and you needed an actual FM radio to hear the songs. Imagine I put a team together at MIT, and imagine we actually built it. Wow. Hold on. Let me backtrack. So he starts out by saying, imagine if there was a 24-hour fully AI-powered radio station trained on all of the intricacies of my rapping abilities and was carefully refined to produce the highest quality possible Lupe Fiasco songs, right? Now imagine it only played a generated song once and never again endlessly. So it sounds like this AI is, this is speculation, but it sounds like this AI would create a Lupe Fiasco song based on what it knows about him once, play it once, and then never again.
That's insane.
That you'd have to have an FM state radio to listen to it, and you'd have to be in a certain location, and it would only be available for certain periods of time. I mean, cool, bro. Like, people with bread can do whatever they want. I don't know that Lupe Fiasco is great, but I don't know that I'm gonna check in for
It's an interesting concept.
Lupe Fiasco
but
songs.
That's what we bring up with technology. Like,
Yeah.
what can be spawned from that in the future? That's what excites me. That's kind of fire, though. You just whatever you put in it, and it's that's. He could do it himself. He don't need no AI. This guy's fucking AI himself.
Yeah.
You hear these bars? Like, he crazy with
seriously.
it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. And the last topic.
That's cool. Oschino State Property claims that hero Beanie Siegel's kissed the game goodbye. So, apparently your boy got a ghostwriter too. How you feel about it?
I don't believe that one.
You don't feel about it?
Oschino's
Or
fire
you don't
too.
believe it?
Like Oschino's got a great pen, but come on,
I think the problem with that is that when you and I'm sure you've been in the studio before. When shit is getting wrote, a lot of the time, you're like, let me hear what you got, right? Or let me hear, and sometimes it's like, oh, what about this? Or you might be stuck on some shit.
I toss him a line or something.
Yeah, absolutely. And you might not necessarily have wrote the shit.
That though, or is he saying he wrote the whole thing?
I don't know. So this comes from a recent episode of a podcast. And let me see here. I guess they were talking about the beef between Jadakiss and Beanie Sigel.
Right.
After the episode, Oschino commented that he wrote the diss, Kiss the Game Goodbye. And he says, crazy that I wrote that. He posted in the comments, apparently. So I don't know. He says that he wrote that.
Brother dig diss. About the son kiss like a soda and make Jay to the mwah. Put his lips on his 9 and really kiss the game goodbye. Nah, son.
Yeah, Kiss the Game Goodbye was released in 2001.
Fire though, but I don't believe it.
Let's see. Yeah, I don't know.
Wow. You know what's crazy is this is another thing. It's like the Dipset thing. I don't want them to start this and then they can't come together for a reunion. Like, I would love to see a State Property reunion.
And I feel like Beanie Sigel will hold a grudge too, bro. Like, he don't seem like the type of dude to forgive and forget. You know what I'm saying? Beanie Sigel. Yeah. Beanie Sigel seems like the type of dude you can't, if you piss that fool off. Yeah.
You wrote what?
Yeah. It don't seem I don't see him as a very forgiving.
That's crazy. You know what's funny too is a lot of people be coming out nowadays and be like, yo, I wrote that. I was like, bro, like, I don't know, man. Like, again, at the end of the day, you write, you collabing with your friends, you in the studio. Hey, let me toss you a line, let me toss you a hook. But
right.
You said you wrote the whole thing. I'm calling fallacy, fake news.
Yeah.
But shout out to Oschino. He's dope. I mean, he's got a great pen, so I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
But
that wraps us up for the evening, man.
Man.
That is it.
I appreciate you, Doug.
That's all we got.
As always,
yeah, of
producer
course, bro. You already
episode
know.
number 4. We here. Got a lot of content coming in the next couple weeks with a lot of great artists, man. I got something lined up that I think y'all gonna be excited about, man. So subscribe, like, comment, share the whole 9. We out here, bro. Peace. Hydrobar.io. We out.